Okay, so let's go over how to use the graphing calculator to find the limit. So this is the example that we did in class. Estimate the following limit using the table. So the function is x squared minus 3x plus 2 over x minus 2. And over here, the notation say limit x approaching 2. So the arrow is, the idea is we want to find what is the slope at 2 and estimate. So the problem is when you plug in the 2, it will be undefined. So we don't know. So since we don't know the values that right there, what we can do is we have to figure out what happened on the left and what happened on the right, what values they both seem to approach it to. That's the goal, okay? So we're going to use the graphing calculator to do this. So step number 1, we're going to use this function right here. I'm not going to type in limit. I'm just typing x squared minus 3x plus 2 minus 2 in the calculator. So step number 1, I will go to where it say equal to, right? If you have a fancy calculator, the TI-84 Plus color, we can do the fraction. It will do it for you. So by doing that, you say alpha y equal to, and here is popped up the first option. So I'm going to press that enter, right? Enter. So x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, so that's the function, and I can press the arrow to go down for the numerator, which is x minus 2. So that is my function, okay? If you don't have this, if you have the older version, it should work out the same way. However, we cannot do the fraction, so here's the way that we can go around it. Then I can do parenthesis, okay? Then I will do x squared. What you do is you technically group in the numerator terms together and the denominator together. So x squared minus 3x plus 2. Close parentheses to indicate they are together. To do the fraction, you would do divide, okay? X minus 2. Close that parenthesis. So that's another way for you to type. They both saying the same thing. Just depend on which calculator that you have, okay? You have the 83, the older one, you have to do this parenthesis. You have the newer version, it's really nice. You can just type it in if you remember the commands. Alpha y equal, option number 1, right? So once, I'm going to delete the second function because it's technically the same thing, so I don't need it. Step number 1, we enter the function. Step number 2, we can do second window. Over here, notice the independent. I'm going to use the arrow to go down. I want us to highlight the word ask, not auto. So if your calculator have not done it, that's what you need to do. Second window. Then you have this screen. Go down to independent, highlight ask. What this saying when I say ask, that is mean the calculator you have to enter in the x values. If you don't enter in the x values, they will not populate anything for you. Okay, the dependent is the y. We don't need the y, okay? So what we can do is now, step number 3, second graph. So these are the values from the table. What you need to do is you can just type it in. The first value is 1.5. I have us pre-enter. What I can do is, let's say if you have random numbers and you don't want them, you can just hit delete. It will clear everything from your table, right? So I'm going to use the table that given to me the x value. So the first number is 1. Okay, I hit delete so many times, so it's the still process. So I can hit 1.75, enter. Then the next one is 1.9, enter, 1.99. And then 1.999, enter. Then we want to know what happened at 2, but we know the 2 will give you an error, it's undefined at that point. So we can do the next one, 0, 1, 2.01, 2.1, and I believe the last number 2.25. Okay, so if you look over here, the limit is pretty much seeing what happened around the 2, right? So over here, as you can see, the values seem to get closer and closer to 1 because now it's get to 0.999. If you keep doing the math, it will get much closer to 1. The same thing if you look on the bottom to the up, right? 1.25 and get closer and closer to 1. So it gets smaller and smaller toward 1. So the limit of this problem would be 1. So this is how you're going to use the function on your calculator. Okay? All right.